It's fun. It's wild. It's Dad's Gone Crypto.
Welcome everybody back to Dad's Gone Crypto. It's another week, another cool episode. We're giving some updates on what's happening with our Dad's Sacks campaign. We're going to find out what's been happening in the markets, and let's do a little bit of a teaser drop of projects we are onboarding where you can potentially earn and win some awesome prizes in the form of tokens or coins. So that's going to be laid out later today. Before we get going, how's your week been, Ryan?
Good. We took a little family vacation, and we're out of town for four days or so there. Went and saw a Broadway show in New York City, so that not really my cup of tea, but it's for my daughter's birthday. She absolutely loved it. And actually, I'll say it was a pretty good show too. So I actually am starting to enjoy the genre a bit, I guess, now that my kids have gotten me into it. So it was pretty good.
What do you remember?
Yeah,
the name
it
of the show, or
was
the
Sweeney
title?
Todd. So I don't know if you know that, but it's like about a barber that ends up, murdering people, and they make meat pies out of them.
Sounds
So
good. Oh, that's fantastic. Very
that's
New
yeah.
Yorkish.
I think that's why I kind of like this one. It was kind of my style. But
It
yeah,
was a lot of singing and dancing as they were meat grinding that
right.
body.
Exactly, pretty much, really.
Fantastic. Put it
Oh
on my
man.
bucket list.
But yeah, just busy then, just all the travel and running back and forth and all that kind of thing. But yeah, glad to be back home and back to work here.
Yeah.
What about you?
The little cheeky boys trip to Portugal. Wife loves me at the moment. But I played 2 games of golf out in Algarve. Had to donate a few kidneys to pay for those courses. But the one was just majestic. It was just out of this world. It's a bucket list course. Just magical. And then I went up to Lisbon a bit, saw all the sites, the castles, and all the. But we did it on a speed run. But on the last day, we're like, all right, let's do this mission. And it was raining. We're like, okay, it's a little bit of rain. We're used to that. Ooh, European rain. Holy smokes. It came down like as if the shower tap was on. And Portuguese people, they're not worried. You're standing outside there. I'm like, I'm okay, I'm cold. I'm just standing there. It's like this water's coming across your face, and you're like wiping your eyebrows because it's. And then this bus driver, or Portuguese bus driver, is just standing there, just chatting to his friend, and it's getting harder and it's getting harder. Then he walks to the back of the bus and is looking. Oh, should I roll down the little blinds over here because the further back it's on the sides it's open. He's like, okay, so he slows down, rolls it, and it's just pelting more. Now I'm like literally dripping down to my quackish. I am that wet. I get on the bus and he's like, what's your problem? No, like come inside, let me close the door while we just sort out some shit. And they put us to the back of the bus and you're sitting and now it's raining in at an angle and the bus is driving. I'm like, fuck. Given that experience, it was very cool. I had a lot of fun and good to be home. Good to be home. It takes a lot out of you doing these travels, but definitely nice to get away, get to experience very quickly, another country, another culture. And I still prefer South Africa, I won't lie. I think we have it good here. We just have a bit more excitement with our political status. But apart from that, it reaffirms South Africa is still a decent place. But it would be nice to go to more of these countries. All right, so our next part of the show is the dad sacks. Last week we spoke about what is a dad sack or sacks, and how is it going to gamify our fans and the guys that are coming on board and our community. We've been working very hard behind the scenes. It's taken us a good few months, close to a year, to unravel this part of the plan because we're on a journey. Launch the campaign, interact with brightest minds in the space, educate you guys on, is this project something you should put in on your bucket list or your purchase list? and then also finding out how do I build in the space, pitfalls, security. So it's a learning channel, but at the same time engaging with people. And this part of the journey now is how do we incentivize you guys? Because you guys have been liking, you've been chatting in our Telegram chats, but we want to give something back and make it worthwhile. Build the right community. We don't care about having 100,000 bots or people just that aren't engaging. We want dads that are like, hey, I'm keen on this. How do I do it? How do I make my first little bit of bags? How do I get a first little bags? And if I know nothing about crypto, simply by interacting with the platform, you can earn some tokens. Then we've got some pre-sale. That means it hasn't even launched yet, which means when it launches, it could spike up. You could make a lot of money off them. And all you have to do is be part of the game. And as we launch new projects, what's going to happen? You are going to be a part of that, because there's multiple ways we're going to be giving away some of the stuff. So, Ryan, in this quick, short, brief outlet, what are the dad sacks?
Well, again, as we spoke all about, we broke it down pretty good last week, I think. But basically, you got to get in there. You got to join, get on our Telegram, join our Zeely campaign, which is down in the description here, and become a part of it. You're basically, it's very simple. For the beginning, it's very simple stuff. Go out, look at, join our Telegram, join our Twitter, tweet, retweet things for us, that kind of thing. Just become part of the conversation, right? And then as we continue through here, and we're about to announce, our couple of first participants in the Dad Sacks, you'll be able to actually take a little journey for each of those projects. So every project that's in the Dad Sacks has their own basically little quest, little quest area, and you're gonna go and you're gonna learn about those projects. And while you're learning, you can also earn these experience points to climb that leaderboard, and possibly a chance to win some really great prizes along the way. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, very exciting, and it's a nice way to, like, you guys. We got some loyal fans that every week they listen to our videos, and they share, and they give us a heart, and they give us a comment, and we want more. We want more of those type of people, but we need engagement in order for YouTube to allow us to get to a bigger audience. You need those likes, you need those comments, because then they validate that, hey, these guys are interesting. This video is interesting. Let's boost it, right? So you go into an algorithm and say, okay, cool. Then you get a bigger audience and you get, better participation. Then we grow. As we grow, all right, we can now negotiate better, tokens or items that we can give to our community, because now our community grows. So it's a thank you. It's a thank you for being a part of the growth. Thank you for being a part of liking and subscribing. And we want to give a lot away. And we obviously keeping it now during the bear market, because we're getting a lot during this bear market. And as it gets to the bull market, that could be a 10x, that could be 100x, who knows? It could be 1,000x. You don't know. All right, the bull market's coming, and if we have multiple of these different types of sacks, and you engage and you get an NFT that says I'm getting 100 of this or 200 of that, you can redeem that closer to when we release the tokens, and then you can go sell it. You can do what you want with it, but you've earned it, right? And you'll be part of a community. So first and foremost, of course, you need to follow our Telegram, follow our Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Those are the three things to just say, hey, we're part of the community, and then come chat to us on the Telegram channel. And as Ryan said, we've got these projects, and as we load the project, we're on this journey through the jungle, and all of a sudden, hey, that mountain looks cool to climb. Okay, there's 15 steps to climb that mountain. All right, and every step of the way, we are going to reward you with points and cool bonus points. And then at the end of that, you might be put into a raffle, or you might earn, or you might get, who knows. So every month we're going to give away a prize. At the end of the journey, we're going to give away a prize. So that allows the audience to win multiple prizes. And doesn't mean because you've won, you can't win again. Of course you can, right? We're going to do this through, an automated, selection system. So it's fair. But yeah, it's exciting. So you're gathering your leader points over the course of the year or 2 years or whatever. And then, of course, we'll reward you every step of the way. So, Ryan, we've got some exciting news. This is the first time we're letting people know exactly what we're doing. We're working on another project as well, so that should be released next week. What is one of the projects that we particularly are excited about that we've managed to secure for our DAGS community project?
Yeah, so our first addition to the Dad Sacks is a project that we did an interview with the CEO of the project a while back, and we're all really very excited about this one, and it's Prasaga. So, Prasaga, they're a Swiss foundation, and they're building the world's largest layer one blockchain. That's their goal. They're planning on providing solutions to a whole slew of industries, which we'll get to here. But very, very excited to have Prasaga on board, and very excited to take you guys on a journey and really, really delve deep and to really learn about what Prasaga is trying to do through the quests and the Zeely campaign that we're setting up for them.
Exactly. So we are super excited about Prasaga. Like any project, guys, we're going to bring them to you, right? We do our homework, we do our research. We don't have a 100% foolproof system, so you have to do your own homework. You have to see, and even some of the best projects in the world run out of money. Even some of the best projects in the world don't get it right. They forgot about something, and the project gets hacked by some reason, and it crumbles. It's not to say that the project wasn't decent, not to say the project wasn't good. You don't know, right? But when you do enough homework and you see, like, wait a minute, if they unleash their project upon the universe and they do what they say, they claim to say, and the technology is validated and you start building in a space and it's easy to build in the space and it's secure in the space, how much bigger could it be? How bigger could this potentially be, right? And this is one of those projects. If they get it right, it's not launched. We can't say, hey, they're 100% legit, right? They are a project building in a space that want to change most of the problems with blockchain. So they're layer one, right? So who's Prasaga? They're a Swiss foundation building the world's largest layer one blockchain with the solutions to help big scalability, right? So if you think about the healthcare systems, right? It varies from country to country, but from the most part, right, you go to the doctor and what happens, right? So you go to your normal doctor, your GP, and he says, okay, you got a cough. Here's your prescription, go. So you take that prescription and you go to the chemist and the chemist gives you a prescription. You take those medication. Cool. There's very little history of you that you might be allergic. They ask, are you allergic to this? Are you allergic to that? I'm like, no, okay, cool. So they take it on your word, right? And then you go and you just repeat that process. But then what happens? You get a toe infection, right? Because you kicked the dog. No, we didn't kick the dog. You kicked the wall, right? And then, okay, you go to the doctor, now it's bleeding and it's starting to get all pussy and stuff. So now you got to get antibiotics for the infection. Now, okay, so you're allergic to anything? No, cool, take these antibiotics. But it's not talking to each other that maybe the flu medication that he gave you interacts with the potential antibiotics, therefore causing a reaction to you as a person, because the data is not there. The doctor doesn't keep the data. He keeps a little file, but the chemist doesn't have it, and so forth. What happens when you go to the hospital now, right? How do you get that information to the hospital? Now you've got a life-threatening situation. They have to act quickly. They're going to do what's best for you to save your life, but at the same time, there might be a potential risk of you causing another contraindication or problem because they did not know all the facts, right? So so that's a real world problem. In South Africa, it doesn't happen, right? So how do you give that information very quickly? So what happens if there was a blockchain that allowed that process to be seamless, right? The integration of data from the patient to the professional to the healthcare. All right, but who owns that information? Well, the problem is everybody owns the information other than you, right? So what happens then is the doctor owns it, the medical, as when you go to the hospital, you have the operation. The hospital has that information, right? What are they doing with the information? You've got to take their word for it. They're not selling it on to your insurance company because then now you want to get medical aid because now this might happen again. They say your premiums go up. You don't know, right? So the problem is you trust all these people with these bits of data and who knows what they're doing with it. So what happens if I was responsible for that data? I go to the doctor, my account is on the blockchain, right? The doctor sees me, there's a record on the ledger that on this date and this time, this is what happened, this is the prescription. He's now accountable because he's not giving you medication, so he has to be very careful now, right? Because he's done a digital signature to say, I'm their doctor, this is what I gave them, I believe this is the best. All right, cool. Now, when I go to the hospital, I can now release selected bits of information that the hospital requires for me to there. So I don't want them to have everything. I want them to have this, or I want them to have everything. I can give that information to them, right? But my insurance company, I don't want them to give my whole history of information because they're going to use it wrongly. All right, they're going to profile me unfairly, and therefore my premiums are going to go up without them doing the due diligence. They just flag you and they just put up your rates. I do not want them. So I'm in power of my data. And by a simple text message, okay, cool, what do I want to give? Send, it's gone. All this has to be 100% secure because what if someone hacks into your data, changes it and all of that, and it affects you later on, all right? So it has to be secure. And that's, I think, where the blockchain comes in. So from the healthcare point of view, this could potentially, at a cost-effective rate, all right, solve a massive problem. Think about also a second point to think is through Prasaga's Saga chain, right? They think about the pharmaceuticals, right? So you're developing a drug, and the drug goes from manufacturer to the laboratories to production, right? There's a step-by-step process. What happens if the raw materials coming in can be basically tagged, just saying that batch was certified, then it goes to the laboratory, therefore it was certified, then it goes to the chemist, it was certified. So every step of the way, you have a track record of where it came from, was it sourced ethically, who touched it, was it in a clean lab, all of that, right? Then it comes to the consumer. When he gets to the consumer, there's even an expiry date on there that might not necessarily be the ones that it is printed on. It might be from the manufacturer date, because now it's on the ledger. They can't manipulate it. They can't just go rub it out and put it in, right? So now every step of the way in the pharmaceutical place, now I give medication to Ryan as a pharmaceutical, as a chemist. Now you can track that Ryan got that medication. If there's any drugs that are recalled, you can go to all those people and say, hey guys, stop using this drug, and here's a replacement, right? So it happens very quickly. If the drug goes out, not everybody gets that message to say that there's something could be wrong, or that there's an issue with it. So using technology and blockchain, that can solve that as well. And this can also allow for the last third point is the scalability. So think about the research now. Now they're researching a product. They're taking a plant, they're turning it into a product because they believe that it can create certain anti-inflammatory properties. And then what happens there is it works. Cool. But now they got the data. The data cannot be given to anybody else because it's their IP. But what happens if you want someone to work on a certain part of that data because that's the validity? You can now give them access, multiple companies or research scholars in the universities to work on that bit of data, right, or the batch of data, and they can run modeling on that. So now the modeling systems apply. If the pharmaceutical company is happy and they can think, then they can do a collaboration. So they don't have to give all the data. They can give specific important bits. They can give the raw data, or they can give whatever. They can work in collaboration. But at the same time, the company knows that these 2 or 3 people are working on the project, and now they're bound through a smart contract or an asset contract and so forth. So now you can scale on a massive level, as opposed to just, so you can speed up drug production, the validation, and all of that. So that's in the healthcare, and that's exciting. But of course, you need a company that can handle the pressures of the massive volume of data.
Right.
Ryan, what else is?
Well, one cool thing there is that their chain is being developed on it's Saga Python. So basically, they're using Python, a language that most programmers know. Python has hundreds of thousands of programmers out there compared to building on like their own blockchain. Some like let's just say they're building on Solidity. There's way fewer blockchain programmers than there are Python programmers. So this is being that they're using basically just a modified version of Python, Saga Python, to build. It's opening up the door that pretty much any company can come on their chain and build. So it's a very, very cool thing. And one of the main, so they're doing healthcare. One of the main other segments they're really working with is automotive segment. And the automotive industry, I mean, there's a whole slew of ideas that can be performed with Saga Chain, but really it's supply chain, right? So the entire supply chain can be tracked from raw material, every single raw material that goes into making the parts, and then the parts can be tracked, and all the way from the car owner to a reseller, so that you're getting authentic parts. There's a big issue out there with theft in automotive industry, right? I mean, cars get stolen all the time, and really you're not seeing a lot of cars get stolen and then resold, right? Because they don't have the title. There's lots of issues there. It's not like they're trying to resell stolen cars. What they're doing is they take that car and they chop it all up into little pieces and sell those parts off, right? Well, Saga, Saga can actually kind of help stop that a little bit, or at least thwart it a little bit, because now if the automotive manufacturer is using Saga Chain, and they're actually tracking all their parts, so every single part within that car can be fully traced. So if your car gets stolen and they break it all down, now you have a record that this part, this alternator, was stolen. So it's not just a general part now. Now it's an actual piece of that particular car. They know which car it was supposed to be in. Now, if it goes on the open market again, well, hey, that's a stolen part. So it's not something that's going to be like immediate, right? But if multiple manufacturers start using this technology and really track each individual part throughout, it really could put a big hurt on, automotive theft rings, because they won't be able to sell the parts except on the black market kind of thing, because you'll know right off the bat, hey, this is stolen. That's a really cool idea that I think that they are working on. And I know they're working with some manufacturers already on this kind of idea. And I think that's something that could really change, the industry in general in the future. Another aspect is that, when you're buying and selling used cars, yeah, there's ways to find out, what happened with those cars, but it's not super accurate. It's not all the time accurate, right? Well, with this, if a manufacturer, if all of those parts were tracked with Saga Chain, right, that every single part within that car is either original or replaced. There's no more, oh, hey, I replaced the transmission, this and that. No, you'll know for sure every single part has been traced, and what's in your car. So when you're buying a used car, you can actually get a report. You'll know what happened with that car. You'll know if that car was ever in any type of an accident, because any part that went back into that car had to be replaced because of an accident or whatever. So it's a way that I think is going to give consumers a whole lot more information and be able to feel a lot better about buying a used car even, and resellers of those cars, an easier time, as long as they're on the up and up and doing the right thing, right? So basically, using smart contract assets, Saga Chain is able to track from raw material all the way through part, piece by piece, and the ownership and the history of everything about that car. So it could be a absolute game changer in the industry for automotive. And again, you said they're working in healthcare. They're working in a lot of different industries, and that the smart contract asset tracking is really what's going to allow this this kind of technology to work.
And Ryan, they're creating the tools to allow you to build your own, right? So it's not just come on my chain, come on my things and do it my way, and using these limited tool sets, right? Cardano did that, and they caused a big uproar because it was too difficult for people to learn and use it. They have simplified, they have gotten better, but they've taken many years to do that. So what they've said is, well, let's take a language like Python, where millions and millions of people, anybody can basically, that's got a Python, certification or understands Python, can build, and then plug it into their system. That'll add in the cryptographic element to it, right? So you can build an in-house project for yourself, or in-house product for yourself, or you can build it for the world. So either or, simplify finding those problems. And if you guys are listening out there, while Ryan was talking, I was visualizing what happens if, so here's your car. Every single part in that car is validated to the blockchain, right? The radiator, to the light bulb, to the plug, to whatever. Okay, cool. Now, Ryan has had a little bit of an accident in his car. He's all fine, but the car's, not really good. Insurance doesn't want to pay out. He's got this car. Okay, cool. So he goes to a dealership. The dealership, well, like what do you call it, a second-hand dealership, and they scan the car. They say, all right, 300 of those parts, all right, and he's got a Lambo, by the way. 300 of those parts are still perfect in mint condition, right? So now he has to go to eBay, take the part, manually plug it in, load it, and then you've got to deal with some scammer and whatever. Now, think about it in this way, and you guys can perhaps build this, right? What happens if Ryan gives permission to say, hey, now these parts I'd like to sell? So all he does is tick a box that says, I want to sell the headlights, I want to sell this or that. It's validated on the blockchain. So the guy that's building a Lamborghini, and you get a lot of these, rebuilds on YouTube, he's building a Lamborghini, but now all of a sudden it pops up, 32 Lamborghini lights are now available to purchase, right? They're validated. Here are the prices. Contact the owner. Does Ryan give access to his personal details? Yes, provided these criteria are met. He's registered, he's validated, so it's not some scammer. So you want to know that his ID's on there. Then he'll happily give that Lamborghini buyer, parts buyer, his details. And this can be done almost instantaneously. You don't need to go to eBay. You don't have to put in all the details. He wants the part, you have the part, connect the two people. And that can be done through a decentralized system. I want 5%.
Yeah, no kidding. That's a really interesting idea you just spit out there. I love it, but don't ask me to build it though, please. We've got too much going on.
Ryan, I'm sending you on a Python course. What are you doing between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m.? Right. They do say sleep when you're dead. Huh? But that's as simple as that, guys. Through conversations over a barbecue or braai, look what we've done. We've created something that someone could create a new eBay and decentralize using their technologies, right? So that's how excited we get, because it doesn't have to be that grand. It can be something smaller. It can be something in your niche industry. But yes, and also the best thing about Python is the developers aren't that expensive, right? Go to Solidity. Ryan and I are very familiar with that. It's very expensive, stupidly expensive and unjustified. So at least they're getting that right. So Prasaga for us is an exciting project. They're not trying to solve just small projects, but big projects on scale, and creating a massive ecosystem that just benefits, everybody in that whole chain process.
Absolutely.
All right, so that's Prasaga, and we're not going to tell you how much of Prasaga we have. There, you got to wait for next week. All right, but don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. It does help our channel. But yeah, so join our Zili competition and join our Telegram chat just to start that process. But next week we're going to give you the big announcement. It is big, and very, very excited to share with you guys. But Ryan, what is the second project that we're also excited about that is going to be launching shortly after Prasaga?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you just interviewed this project, so everybody should be very familiar with Space Dogs. Space Dogs is the other one of our founding projects here for the Dad Sacks, and we do have another one that we're talking with that we're going to announce shortly, but that might be another week or two before we get into them. But yeah, absolutely. Space Dogs is a really fun project. They have a lot going for them, and really, really happy to take everybody on that journey as well to learn all about Space Dogs and hopefully be able to earn some dogs for themselves.
No, exactly, Ryan. And just to give you guys a little update on what was Space Dogs, we're going to put the link down in the description, the Prasaga. There was a very technical meeting. We are going to be having a follow-up meeting with them and bringing it down to the bite-sized chunks so you guys can understand it. the first one is very technical, very cool, but technical. Space Dogs, also, we're going to put the link in the description, as well as the Matterfy, because that's where the technology comes from. So Patrick and Mihai have been building in the space. Mihai on the back end with some really cool unhackable technology. He was a hacker in his day, so that's where I was leading towards. He was a hacker and a top-class hacker, and he worked for the government and a lot of security companies. Then he kind of moved into the crypto space, which was, it was a blessing, because the stuff that he's creating, along with Patrick, which is getting it out into the market, is phenomenal, right? There is a problem with ledgers. There is a problem with, all these extra cold wallets. They do provide the most best solution we have now, but by no means is it easy, right? And they're creating something where you cannot just put in your login and password, into the web, where it can be hacked and someone can look in and steal it. It's all done off supply. So you'll get you'll get a card, Space Dogs card, that allows you to tap, and it says, okay, you're the owner. No one else in the world can have that. They can't copy that. Then you got to do a thumbprint recognition to say, hey, okay, this actually is me, or one or two other people, which you can put on: your mom, your dad, your brother, your aunt, your dog. Maybe not your dog, but yeah. And then you got to put in your PIN, right? So then once you got all three verified, or two of the three, you get access to your wallet. So they cannot attack from the outside. If you obviously give your stuff away, then obviously they can. So that allows you to open up your wallet and keep your coins in there, as long as you keep your seed phrase in a safety deposit box, or very safe. So if you lose your card or your PIN, you can just reset it, but that will never be allowed on your computer, or never be allowed into the cryptosphere, right? So if by doing that, it takes so much burden away, and you feel safe. We've got a couple of wallets, but by no means do we feel safe. Like who's got the better technology? Who's prying? Who sent me an email that might scan my fingerprints when I'm typing? So there's a lot of things, and they're solving a good portion of the problem in the space.
Yeah, the Space Dogs.
Is it scalable?
That card is just awesome. The hardware wallet card, it's just such a great idea, because it's so much more inexpensive than like any of these hardware wallets out there. Because these hardware wallets, they've got screens, you've got to hit the little buttons, you got to go through all the rigmarole. With this, it's literally just a chip reader, and it's a card, just like a credit card that everybody has, or a debit card. It's super cool technology. That's one of the reasons I'm really, really excited about it. And plus their whole tech in the background of basically being able to send, they're like the PayPal for crypto, right? You're able to send transactions to somebody's name, rather than having to do it, through giant contract addresses and all that kind of stuff. I think it's wallet addresses. I think it's super cool tech, and I think it's going to allow a lot of people to come into crypto more easily than any of the current technology out there has allowed.
It's very, very scary trying to send something, because you've got to copy the address and you've got to paste the address, right? And you're like, please let this address be valid. And then you're like, okay, you're checking the first line, you're checking the last line, and then you close and you hope that that's the right address, right? And you shouldn't have to feel like that, because if you get it wrong, okay, there might be a failed transaction, but if you get it wrong, you might be sending it to someone or something that you don't know about, right? And you can never get it back. Right. So Ryan goes on, registers his name, Crypto Dad Ryan. He's the only one that's got those letters. So you can't have 10, Crypto Dad Ryans. You can have Crypto Dad Ryan 1, Crypto Dad Ryan 2, 3, 4. You can have that, but you cannot have his actual name. And once you've stored him in your address, in your wallet, that's the only guy you know. All right. So it's there, and it's validated tech to say, hey, he's legit because he's validated on the system. Now I want to send him something. It's like, no problem. There we go. Boom. Within a few seconds, minutes, it's all done. So it takes that stress out of sending money to the people that you know. And if you don't know that person, all right, yeah, sure, there's other ways, to sending, but you just get them involved in the platform as well. So exciting stuff coming. And they're going to have their own project as well. We want to grow the community. We'd like to get educational bits out so you guys understand. We are going to get our own Space Dogs cards, and we're going to run through together with you a live show. Well, not a live show. Well, no, it's a recorded show, but live in the sense of unveiling that product and showing you how easy it works. and give you some feedback. All right, we'll give you honest feedback. If there's some improvements that are needed, of course we're going to share with them. All right, so we want to try and be as neutral as possible, but we are excited about it because we know how the space needs to change with this new technology. So very, very exciting, and that'll come in the next couple of weeks. So they are on our project list as well. So remember, you got your dads, you've got to join into our community, then you got your Prasaga that's launching soon, then you're going to have Space Dogs, and there's another project as well, which is in the pipeline, also as exciting as these two projects.
Absolutely, I'm really looking forward to it. I think this is going to be a lot of fun taking the journey here with all of our everybody that's coming into all of our new followers and all of our really loyal followers that have been with us here since the beginning. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Ryan. So tell us, what has been happening in the markets this last week and a half or 2 weeks, and where is the markets going? Do you know? Do you have a crystal ball?
Sure. Let me just get out my crystal ball and tell you where the markets are going. Well, I can do that long term. Long term, I can tell you the markets are going up. So, we've got long term bull markets right around the corner, and we know things are going to be going up. But as far as the last couple of weeks have been boring for the most part, except for just a few days ago, we had some real excitement where Bitcoin shot up like 10% in a matter of minutes, all because of a fake tweet, or an inaccurate tweet, I guess we could call it for now. Who knows what the intention there was, but yeah, it was crazy. It went from like, I don't even know, like 27 something, shot all the way up to like over 30K. And in a matter of minutes, and it was all just because somebody from Cointelegraph tweeted out that the Bitcoin a spot Bitcoin ETF had been approved, BlackRock's, and it just went absolutely crazy. People started tweeting it all over the place, and just within minutes, it just shot up like crazy. Now it turned out that was false, and I know they issued an apology.
Sure.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of stuff going on there. So
apparently the intern, you said.
Yeah, I know there was rumors that it was an intern, and I don't know. I mean, I know, like I said, they issued an apology. I know there were some issues there, but I'll tell you what, a lot of people got short squeezed on that. There were hundreds of millions of dollars liquidated there in that really brief time. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes, but that was just an absolutely crazy one. Wish I would have been sitting at my trading desk for that, although I'm sure that would have been that was just too much. It was too fast to really be able to do anything on that. But yeah, then Ryan, price came back down, stabilized, and we're sitting right around 28, mid 28 right now. So
Ryan, don't you think that this could be a nugget or a gem of information to our crypto dads? We just had an insight look into what potentially could happen and more, just based on a false rumor.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I mean, look at that, and that rumor got shot down quick. I mean, that rumor was there. The markets went absolutely crazy. Bitcoin, like I said, over 10% in minutes. And then, I mean, it was shown to be false pretty quick after that. And then, of course, the market dropped back down. But I mean, if you think about that super fast movement up, had that not come out as false, I mean, who knows where this thing could have gone? I mean, if that would have been if that would have been true, which pretty sure, ETFs are probably going to get approved here sometime in the near future. I mean, that just shows you this market's ready. It's really ready to move, and it's ready to rock here. So at least in my opinion,
that they're waiting. They're waiting in the corners with liquidity.
Yeah, exactly.
And they want to pull that trigger because how many billions of dollars are in Bitcoin at the moment? Do you know, right?
Oh, I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I mean, probably $500 billion or something. I don't know. I'd have to actually look at that, but yeah, probably like $500 billion or somewhere in that neighborhood.
And then 10% of that, it's not chump change. It's a lot of money, right? And what people have to understand as well, what does it mean for that to be approved? Well, you phone up your broker and say, hey, broker, buy me Bitcoin. Cool, no problem. Thanks, Sean. Cheers, bye. That's it. That's as easy as it is. There's no keys, there's no ledger, there's no worries, storage, nothing. They're going to obviously charge you a fee for holding it and all that. But everybody has access to a broker, right? Your normal broker that's selling you life policies, that's the guy you're going to buy Bitcoin from, right? That easy. So now you think that times every country, times every broker, times the world, you're going to understand it is only 21 million Bitcoins, right? Half of those, I think, are missing, but you can see it. There's a very slim chance you are going to own one full Bitcoin in the future just based on that, because we're not talking hundreds of thousands of rands. We're not talking hundreds of millions. We're talking billions, if not trillions of money that's going to go flow into it, because Bitcoin's a household name now, or close to a household name, and everybody wants a little bit. If you take all those people that are putting $100 a month, every month into Bitcoin, you got to understand that price is going to go up. So this is the perfect opportunity, to start dollar cost averaging in. Yes, I buy now and it goes down. You're like, oh, it doesn't matter. Next month, buy again. Next month, buy again. Get in before it's too late. Not financial advice, of course, but
Not financial
Bitcoin
advice.
is definitely.
But no, I mean, you're 100% right there, though. Just because, I mean, so think about it. That little rumor that was out there for a very short amount of time shot the market up, right? Now imagine, okay, so that's just people that are in, right? That's people that are in here and they were waiting to buy. They were waiting for that news, right?
Money on the sides.
But imagine when BlackRock and Fidelity and all these other guys, Grayscale, imagine when their salespeople, their giant sales force is out there pushing Bitcoin on the trillions and trillions of dollars that they all manage. Yes, I'd say the sky is the limit for Bitcoin, because when you've got that sales force out there really pushing it, all of a sudden you're bringing in all that external money that's been wanting to get into crypto, but just really didn't know how. And it's an easy path in. I'm really excited for the future of Bitcoin in general and crypto. And
definitely. All right. Anything else happening in the markets there, Ryan?
No, I don't know. I mean, like I said, no crystal ball. So it's hard to say what's going to happen in the short term. I mean, honestly, are we going to trade, just kind of sideways here for a little while? Probably, unless we get some more news. I know, everybody's been kind of waiting for a dump. Who knows really if it's going to come or not. We could go up from here and just keep legging up, or, maybe we will get that last little downward movement. But again, if you're, at this point in the market, I would say DCA is probably your best bet of just, getting a little bit in every week and, or as much as you can every week. Again, not financial advice, but I think it's a really good time to do that, because if you're planning on doing it, week by week, or even, every few days or something putting in, then it doesn't really matter if it goes down, if we do get that dip, because you're going to be buying at that dip as well. So it doesn't really matter that you're buying here. And if it doesn't go down, well, then, you're going to want, at least you got some skin in the game, right? You've been buying, and maybe you'll buy on the way up here, but there's always going to be legs up and down as it moves into the bull market here. So my opinion, DCA is kind of the way to go for pretty much any average investor.
Awesome. All right, guys. So you got some nuggets of information today. All right. And don't forget to go and join our Telegram to be part of that community and get involved in those dad sacks. All right, guys. That time of the show, it's Dad's Got Jokes. And Ryan is going to start us off today with his dad joke. And Ryan, what have you got for us?
Well, I went to the ear doctor the other day, and he told me I was going deaf. That was really hard to hear.
That's a proper dad's joke. That's rough. But I like it.
All right, what do you got, Sean?
All right, what I got. So, Ryan, what is the difference between a hippo and a zippo? Well, the one is pretty heavy, and the other one is a little lighter.
another proper dad joke, but you got to tell your kid what a Zippo is first on that one.
Yeah.
Depending on how old they are, they might not quite get that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent.
All right, guys, and that concludes our show for today. Just some little sneak peeks on what's coming and what we're going to share with you guys. Each week it'll unravel, and come to our Telegram channel and we can just obviously explain more. If you're not certain about anything, come chat. We'll gladly answer you. And yeah, please don't forget to share a heart and comment below in this video and share it to your friends as well.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, guys. Been fun. See ya.
All right, guys. Take care. Ciao, ciao. Bye.
The material and information presented in this recording are for entertainment purposes only. Do not misconstrue what you hear as investment or trading advice. Always do your own research. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by the guests on this recording are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of Dad's Gone Crypto or its hosts.